What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Komaris, and for today's video we have 10 more questions that need answers, part 6. And let's just get into it. Question 1: why do people always give up snacks or sweets for Lent? And I created this question because that's like a constant trend that I see when Lent comes around, in Christianity. You give up something because God gave up his life for us. One thing that I see like people always constantly give up is food, snacks, sweets, edible things. And I just wonder why. Because when it comes to Lent, like, you can give up things that aren't even like tangible, like certain words, maybe cuss words, or just certain actions, just anything. Like, you can just give that up for Lent. But instead, people always give up like snacks and tangible things. And I feel like it's just because that's easier to back out of or something like that. But it also like shows like self-control issues, because a lot of the things we don't need to be eating anyway. So for you to just be doing it for Lent and being like, oh, I'm so glad that it's over, I can go back to this, is kind of counterproductive in a sense. But yeah. Question 2: are loaded teas good for you? And this question sparked to me after trying Chick-fil-A's new pineapple dragon fruit lemonade. To me, it tastes like a loaded tea. I do not like it. I do not like loaded teas either. They just taste like nerds to me. They taste like the liquid form of nerds. You know, the nerd candy. They taste like the liquid form of that, and I don't like it. I feel my sugar just rising and my toes finna fall off just from taking a few sips into it. Yeah, after drinking it, then they also offer it in a larger size than usual too. So I finished one whole cup of it, and I was just like, oh my god, Big Mama, your arm. It's not, I don't feel like it's good for you. And I don't think loaded teas are either. No matter how much they say vitamin this, vitamin that, I don't taste nothing healthy about no loaded tea. I don't care how you put it. It ain't good for you. Can half-blooded relatedness negatively impact the relationship that you have with your siblings? And I got this question just from comparing my mom's relationship with her siblings, my aunts and uncles, all 5+ of them, and how closely knit they are together because they have the same mom and dad, as compared to my relationship with my siblings, with none of us having the same like mom and dad. Like, 2 of my brothers, they have different moms than me, and one of my brothers has a different dad from me. So all of my siblings are half-blooded. And in a way, I just really like see how that negatively impacts our relationship, like from the beginning. Like, we were doomed from the beginning, because dealing with that, like, one of the main things is we're all like in different households. So that's one thing. I'm only in a household with one, my brother. So you know how people are raised in different households are totally different. Especially like with you having like a different parent that's your main parent of the household, and their ideas and ideologies and parenting tactics are totally different, and they raise you to have a different mindset and way of living. And also, like, it depends on how strict or free of a parent that they were, also impacts the type of person that you are. When you're not in the same house, you don't have the ability to learn each other passively. You're more so pushed to learn each other actively within the 1 or 2 days throughout every 2 to 3 years that y'all are able to be around each other. And yeah, that's another hardship like with that. And also, like, with me living in the same house with my sibling, our relationship is negatively impacted from half-blooded relatedness, because I would say simply off like the blood. And you know, so many things are passed down to you through blood. Like a lot, I personally feel, and maybe science, ooh, maybe science can prove this as well. But like a lot of characteristics are passed down like through blood as well. So like he has traits that come from a totally different family that I have no total relationship with, and his attitude and way of being and stuff like that is totally different from mine and my background, ethnic background, all this. So we don't relate when it comes to like certain things, and that's normal. Every sibling isn't going to relate to certain things, but I feel like that's one of the main reasons why we don't relate. And I can't really like put it into words. I'm trying to find the words, but I can only feel that sense. And I feel like anybody who has half-blooded siblings, they understand what I'm saying. But you know, like, we already, like, even though we live in the same house, we don't talk as much, but it's the same with all my brothers. But I hope that they know that I love all of them equally and to the highest power, even though sometimes I feel like I'm a terrible big brother because I don't talk to them as much as I should. But it's also me battling the thought of like knowing, like, do they want me to talk to them? Is it my place to reach out to them? Does their parent want me to talk to them? Just a lot of things. But yeah, just seeing like how my mom and aunts and uncles all connect with each other, and they all have the same like childhood stories. It's just so beautiful because like they all lived and experienced the same life. Like they have these stories and stuff like that that they always share, and they never get tired of talking about it, and I never get tired of hearing it. But they all have the same exact story because all 5 of them were there. And it's just so beautiful and dope to me. And I really feel like a lot of people should stop, you know, with the broken homes and the half-blooded siblings, unless you're gonna try to like make an effort to make sure that you establish some sort of mechanism or something that's gonna make sure that your children are all together no matter what. And parents are gonna have to put down the beast aside and just make sure that your child has a relationship with their siblings. And that's one of the reasons why so many children that come from these broken homes, they cling on and be connected to strangers that are no good for them. But we're not gonna get into that. Next question, Tamika.
Next question, Tamika. Stop trying to motherfucking play me for you don't get what you need. Next question, Tamika.
4, can you be too collaborative? And I was just thinking about, well, I'm gonna be honest, I wanted to ask, can you be a collaborative whore? But when I do my little short video on Instagram and TikTok where I'm talking about this, that, each question that's on this video, I didn't want to say whore in that, because 9 times out of 10 that's gonna be the only video that people watch, and I don't want my elders that's watching me and people that see me in a positive light see me call or say the word whore. But if you're watching this video, but yes, I feel like it's possible to be a collaborative whore, meaning that you are someone who just collabs for the heck of it, or just because you meet someone who can do something. And I'm personally trying to keep my collaborations at a minimum at this point of life that I am right now. I only want to collaborate with people on a like I'm limited. Like the people that I collaborate with is limited, and I don't want to have like this big long list of my collaborators and stuff like that at this moment of my life. I personally feel like if we can't have like just a casual conversation or a series of casual conversations, then we probably more than likely shouldn't be collaborating, because if we can't flow in conversation, we can't flow in collaboration. Um, my main thing when it comes to like collaborating is being understood and also understanding the creative that I am collaborating with. I feel like we should have a bond. We should understand what all of our intentions are for, both parties, and not only just within this project that we're collaborating on, but just within our careers, like in totality. Not the next year, not the next 5 years, but in general, like where we are now into where we want to be before we die. It goes that deep with me. And that's why I keep my collaborations to a minimum. Like with photographers, you probably will only see me shoot with a handful of people, tagging a handful of people, unless I go to like these photo walks and things like that where we get to shoot with all these different people. That doesn't mean that I'm not open to collaboration, but I am wanting to have a relationship with the people that I collaborate with. So we could make that happen, but I don't want it to happen by force. I want it to happen naturally and intentionally. And yeah, that's how I feel about it. And I feel like a lot of people just collaborate too much, like just because people can do it. And that's why we always have these ongoing internet slander and things like that, and public beefs and drama when it comes to like collaboration not going as planned. It all comes from people not really being able to conversate, but to really advocate for themselves and say that the things that they truly intentionally and just overall like desire out of collaborative project, they just be so itching to do the project and get it out that they don't understand like the photographers or just collaborator in general. They just be so busy and fixed on the act that they don't think about like the behind the scenes thing that could truly benefit you and will benefit you a lot more than just what you guys produce, if that makes sense. Question 5. Is it common for CD or just physical media to have different mixes of songs than streaming services? Recently I was listening to the 211 album by Brandy on CD, and I was just hearing a lot of things in the background that I don't really hear on the streaming apps. And I was just wondering, like, is this a common thing? Because even on like Beyonce, Cowboy Carter, Tyler the Creator's Cornucopia, Beyonce's Renaissance, there was also a lot of things on those physical media versions that you don't really hear on streaming services. And I wonder, is that like a common thing? Has that always been a common thing? Or what stems from this outside of them like giving out the CD or the vinyl or anything physical media related before realizing like we should make different changes or certain things like that? Those physical products going into production before they catch like, we should change this up before putting it on streaming. I wonder what else is the reason behind it, or if that is the reason behind that. Question 6. What do you gain from knowing it would happen? And I basically got this from working. I have co-workers that always be like, I knew that would happen, knew this would happen, and it would be something negative. They knew that something negative would happen. And even like in life, like with my grandma, she'd be like, I knew this would happen, And it always just seems like people around me are always preparing for the worst and negative things that are going to happen, rather than preparing for good things to happen to us. And it just makes me wonder, like, why? Like, what do you gain from that outside of, you know, especially, like, at work, because you know that something bad is going to happen, but you don't do anything to prevent it from happening. So, what do you gain from pointing out that this is going to happen, outside of being able to say that you said that this was going to happen? Pretty much, you kind of, in a sense, manifested those bad things that happen to us. And I would really, truly appreciate it if you would just manifest good things to happen to us too. But they don't, because they rather prefer to say negative things are going to happen. And also, like, with my grandma too, like, when the weather is bad, like, one thing she always does be like, dang, our power gonna go out. I hope our pipes don't freeze, this, that. And I'll just be like, don't mention it. Don't bring it up. Like, you can prepare for things without over fixating on it happening. Like, you almost preparing for the negative to happen, like as if it's destined to happen. But nobody does that for good things. Like, I know I'm going to get this. I know this is going to happen. I know great things are going to happen to me. Nobody does that. They only fixate on negative, and I hate that. And I also do it myself, and I'm trying to get myself out of that mindset by, you know, catching it on other people, and it's helping me, like, catch it on myself too. So, like, when good things are about to happen, or I want good things to happen, I allow them to be a possibility without worrying about the negative or bad things that can happen in contrary to those good things that could happen. And I kind of went ahead of myself, because question 7 is, why do we prepare for the worst and just let the good happen? Pretty much just already answered that, but I do generally feel like we prepare for the worst, and to give the worst a lot more attention. And then when good happens to us, we just be like, okay, that was that. Yay, move on. Me, at least. When good things happen to me, I don't give them that much energy. I just be like, okay, what's next? But when bad things happen, I be like, okay, I gotta fix this. How am I gonna fix this? What's my next move? This, that, this, that. Then after I fix it, and, you know, I'm in the good now, okay, what's next? And that's not good. I should be able to celebrate myself more, and that's something that I've been doing actually this year. Last time I really celebrated myself was when I made 1,000 subs on here. I actually celebrated myself for meeting a follower count. Even though, you know, followers, subs, and numbers in general don't really matter. They don't matter for the most part, outside of, you know, monetization purposes. But beyond that, it's mainly about the connection. I want to have a connection with you guys. I want to have communication with you guys. I want to have community with you guys. I don't want to just be up here pulling up numbers, this, that, and nobody's hearing me. Nobody's listening to me. Nobody's engaging with me. Like, I've had my share of virality, and I don't care about it anymore, because it didn't really, like, give me what I desire, which is community. And that's something that I really want to build on YouTube. Just me sharing my perspective and just building a community with people just because of that. So make sure that y'all tap in with me, engage with me. I need that. And I want us to just build a space for each other, a space where people, for people who need each other, just to relate. Sometimes all we need in this world is someone who can relate. Question 8. Does Jay-Z's laid-back delivery make people question his rap ability? And, you know, I've been listening to him lately. Pretty much started in my sophomore year of college. I started, like, going through his discography. After I heard Encore 07 by Nicki Minaj, I went and listened to Encore by Jay-Z, and I really liked it. I am someone who believes that he isn't the king of rap. I believe that Lil Wayne is my GOAT rapper, my king of rap, and I don't take that back. But one of the reasons why I really fell in love with Lil Wayne's rapping ability is because of his wittiness and his ability to make words connect and just so it's just so magical in the way that he made words connect, and the way that he would teach me words and have me go Google what these words mean and then find out what that whole bar like meant in totality after figuring out what the word he said actually meant. And him and Nicki Minaj are really two rappers that give me that feeling, and also with their animated abilities when it comes to like rapping, and how they also like signify their punchlines with also their animatedness and laughing sometimes even at their punchlines themselves. Jay-Z doesn't do that. He's so laid back in his rapping, like he just says what he wants to say, and it's just so boss braggadocious and things like that. It's very corporate rap in a sense. Yeah, he doesn't do the most to say what he is trying to get to, like without, there's no loopholes. It's just straight literal, and is wit to it too. And what I picked up on, he is a witty rapper as well, and he's a great rapper. Never denied the fact that he was a great rapper, but picking up on that like just made me realize that maybe I overlooked that he was witty too and can make words connect in a magical way as well, because he isn't animated and he isn't doing all the characters and all of the things like that, and that's not fair. So I am going to be going more into his discography and just breaking it down for myself personally, maybe not on the channel, but just getting a feel of him more. And I also picked up on this like years ago too, in high school when Black is King dropped. Oh no, not Black is King. The joint album they did. Oh my god, I don't remember the name of it. The Carters. The album The Carters that they did, I was picking up on like how witty he is on that. Definitely fell in love with that album, and that was the only time I was really like looking up Jay-Z and wanting to hear Jay-Z on my own like personal time. And yeah, that's definitely going to change. Like after I go through his discography, I may start listening to him even more, because I was listening to Watch the Throne and I really mess with him. I do. Question 9. Has Nicki Minaj always known what the camp aesthetic means and is? If you know Nicki in the early 2010s, she was very much known for being camp, and camp is basically like being very bubblegum pop. Your look is just so colorful and vibrant and boisterous, and you know that's all Nicki did. It was very camp, Harajuku. She was the only like black woman really like doing that, especially in her age bracket, and especially like in rap too, outside of, you know, the greats that came before her. But she took it to another level with, you know, becoming a face in not only rap but pop for her abilities, her song making and songwriting abilities, and also her image. And she claimed that she didn't know what camp was, even though she was literally the main example for camp. And the thing for Met Gala at the time, 2019, when she went and did an interview with Liza Koshy, where she basically said she never knew what camp was until this 2019 Met.
Well, no. She actually did have an interview with Liza Koshy on that Met, but that wasn't the interview where she talked about, you know, not knowing what camp meant. She actually talks about that with her interview with E.T., Entertainment Tonight.
You're sort of the queen of camp. You've pulled out so many campy looks throughout your career. Do you have a favorite music video camp look?
Oh my God, that's a great question. I have no clue, because up until today I had no idea what camp was. So I don't even know if this is camp, to be honest.
And it's just tragic because there was this line in the song Roger That, where she basically said, white girls say, hey Nikki, your camp rules. Is that why I get more head than shampoos? And me personally, I said this in the comment section of a video where they basically was trying to go back and forth, me arguing with me over how I received a line. But anywho, I said that line basically like shows that she knows what camp is, the camp aesthetic. She's always known what the camp aesthetic was, because your camp rules. They was trying to say that how they picked up on it. I'm not saying it's wrong, but they picked up camp. She was talking about her entourage, the people that she has with her, her team. There may be one meaning that she had to it, because this could be a double entendre, triple entendre. I allow people to have their own perspective on bars. That's what rap is about. If you truly love hip-hop, you know you are allowed to receive things in the way that it is. If you're a true lover of art, you realize that you are able to receive things in your own view, in your own mindset. Like, once you put something out, the way that it's viewed and the way that it's received is no longer in your control. You can only have your intentions, but it's no longer in your control once it's out to the world. So, my take on it, that line, was her basically saying white girls love her camp aesthetic, her camp style. Because when you see camp and you hear the word camp, oftentimes we're given examples of white women and white people in general. Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, all the white icons of the 2010s. That's what you see. And Nicki just so happened to be one of the black women that fall into that category as well. And white people also fall in love, and you know, they nurture the camp aesthetic more than the black fans, the black audience. A lot of people during the time, black people didn't understand why Nicki was doing this Harajuku camp and all of this things. Like, her image itself tore black people away from listening to her. A lot of people didn't really, black people, personally, it's my experience now, and what I've seen locally, a lot of black people really didn't start like tapping into her after she got rid of the camp aesthetic, when it came to like the pink print era and so on. Like, we seeing more black people tap into her now that aren't the closed-minded ones are tapping into her now. I put it like that way. But yeah, I just feel like she kind of played in our face in 2019, saying she didn't know what the camp aesthetic was. Maybe she didn't, but I feel like she played in our face. That's just how I feel. But yeah. Question 10. Why do people fight over parking spots? And this is shade to my grandma again. She takes like 5 to 10 minutes to get a parking spot, because she has a handicap sticker and she wants to park really close to stores or any type of establishment or anywhere, and that annoys me, irritates me, because even if she's not getting out, like if it's just me getting out, she fights for a parking spot closest to the entrance of the building, and I just be like, baby, please just let me out. You can park at the end of the parking lot. I don't care. I don't feel like this taking up so much time. Just let me out. Just let me out. But in a way, I do kind of understand, because like, what if it's a case of emergency and I'm trying to escape, and I get out of the building and I get into the parking lot and I can't find a car? How would that work? But yeah, I just feel like it's extra still, but I kind of understand it in a sense. But yeah. Alright, that's all I have. But questions that need answers, part 6. Please leave your own answers to these questions. Just do you a little timestamp or a number for the question. I have them numbered and broken down in the time bar. So please answer. This is supposed to be a conversation. I want to hear y'all own perspective and take on these questions. That's what I'm trying to do with this. I want to understand like how other people view the way that I view things in the world and things that happen around me. And yeah, that's all I have for this video. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And tune into the next one. This series is going to be going on forever. I'm never going to stop the questions that need answers because I never stop having questions. And we're going to try to make this a weekly thing. We're going to try. But, yeah. Alright. Thank you for watching. I'm out.